when we all look at this scorecard, which we all will, what's the purpose behind it and what's the takeaway?
The U.S. News and World Report's college ranking that comes out every year,
Yeah,
that really inspired me here because it's something which incentivizes all the colleges to do better and see what they can improve. The reason that these professors gave low grades wasn't just because they're curmudgeons, but we picked professors precisely because we wanted people who have no financial conflicts of interest with the companies. If you don't want to let students grade themselves, right? The current harms, that's stuff like making sure that your large language model or your chatbot doesn't say harmful things, doesn't teach a terrorist how to make bioweapons or encourage kids to commit suicide, stuff like that. And I commend the companies for having spent some small fraction of their money on trying to really tackle those things. The biggest success so far on the AI safety work by the companies has been training these large language models to not say harmful things, as opposed to not wanting harmful things. So that's a little bit like if you train a serial killer to never say anything that reveals his murderous desires, problem solved, right? But this works pretty well now because if you're just using a chatbot, that's all you care about. But very soon we're going to start seeing these acting much more out in the world where their goals will matter more. If they're running your bank account for you, or if they're operating autonomous vehicles or more things that are physically embodied, then it matters what goals these systems have. And the sad fact is we have no clue. It's not like we built them like we do with cars.
right.
We kind of grew them, we trained them on a lot of data, and they learn stuff. And so this is why the grades are so low on the existential side, precisely because nobody really has any convincing plan for how we would make smarter than human stuff. The message I want my students at MIT to take if they get a low grade is, go back and study harder. And I'm very much hoping that the companies that just didn't have a lot of people working on this stuff, will. I want to say something positive also, though, here, so we don't get too gloomy, because it's important to remember that if we get this right, there's an incredible upside. And it's actually very obvious how we can get it right just from a policy perspective. All other technologies in the United States, all other industries have some kind of safety standards, right? If you want to launch a new airplane, you go to the FAA and you get it safety approved. If you want to launch a new medicine, you go to the FDA and you get it your clinical trial approved. Even if you want to open a sandwich shop, you have to have the health inspector come check first. The only industry that is completely unregulated right now, which has no safety standards, is AI. So if you just flip that switch and be like, okay, we're going to treat AI like all the other industries, then the problem basically gets solved, because instead of it the way it is now, where companies are racing to build maybe uncontrollable AGI as fast as possible, and we're just hoping someone's going to figure out how to control it, the companies now have an incentive to figure out how to make it controllable first, because otherwise they can't release it. Imagine if you, John, walked into the FDA and said, it's inevitable that my company, John Biotech, is going to release this new drug next year. I just hope you guys at the FDA can figure out how to make it safe first. They would laugh you out of the office. But this is exactly how the AI industry operates right now.